Hello everyone, hope you have a nice day and welcome back to my channel. Today we discuss about the management functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. So management is defined as the procedure of organizing, directing, planning and controlling the efforts of organizational members and of the managing organizational sources to accomplish particular goals. Planning is the purpose of ascertaining in advance what is supposed to be done and who has to do it. This signifies establishing goals in advance and promoting a way of delivering them effectively and efficiently. In an establishment, the aim is the obtaining and sales of conventional Indian handloom and workmanship articles. They trade furnishing, ready-mades and household items and fabrics made out of classical Indian textile. Organizing is the administrative operation of specifying, grouping tasks, duties, authorizing power and designating resources needed to carry out a particular system. Once a definite plan has been set for the accomplishment and completions of an organizational intent, the organizing party reviews the actions and resources expected to execute the program. It ascertains what actions and resources are needed. It determines who will be or who will do a distinct job, where and when it will be done in organization. Staffing, obtaining the best resources for the right job. A significant perspective of management is to make certain that the appropriate people with the apt skill are obtainable in the proper places and times to achieve the goals of the company. This is also called the human resources operations, and it includes activities such as selection, placement, recruitment and coaching of employees. Now directing. What are the three levels of management? First, directing involves directing, leading and encouraging the employees to complete the tasks allocated to them. This entails building an environment that inspires employees to do their best. Motivations and leadership are two chief elements of directions. Directing also includes communicating effectively or efficiently as well as managing employees at the workplace. Motivating workers means simply building an atmosphere that urges them to want to work. Leadership is inspiring others to do what the manager wants them to do. Now, controlling. Controlling is the management operation of controlling organizational achievement towards the accomplishment of organizational intentions. The job of controlling comprises ascertaining criteria of performance, computing the current performance, comparing this with organized rules, and taking remedial actions where any divergence is observed. Here, management should ascertain what activities and outputs are important to progress, how and where they can be regulated, and who should have the power to take remedial response. Now, we discuss in details. So first of all, function of management. Management is an activity consisting of process which is mainly concerned with important tasks of goals achievement. No business enterprise can achieve its objective until all the members of the organization work in planned and integrate way. Therefore, the process of management involves the determination of objectives and putting them in action. So, according to J.R. Terry, management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, and actuating and controlling performed to determine and accomplish stated objectives by the use of human beings and other resources. Management is considered to continuing activity made up of basic management functions which are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling that I mentioned earlier. The managers have to perform all these functions in order to achieve the desired organizational goals. Planning, the first and the most important functions of management. So planning involves setting objectives in advance, a goal which is to be achieved within a stipulated time, and various alternatives are formulated in order to achieve the goals. The best alternative courses of actions is then selected which will help the organization to achieve its objectives. Planning is the most basic function of management. It is deciding in advance what to do and how to do, when to do, and by whom it is to be done. It bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to go. And all the other functions of management like organizing, staffing, directing, controlling are independent on planning. Planning is related to further and is continuous process. All the organizations have to make a concrete plan before they start business or execute any projects. Now, function of management: action, plan, idea. Definition of planning. So, according to Theo Heyman, planning is deciding in advance what is to be done. When a manager plans, he projects a course of action for the future, attempting to achieving a consistent coordinate structure of operation aimed at desired result. Importance of planning. Planning increases the efficiency of an organization. All business organizations would like to be successful, have a goodwill in the market, have higher profits also. For attaining these attributes, the thinking process has to be very effectively. Now, let's understand why planning is important for the organization. Planning increases efficiency. Planning makes optimum utilization of all available resources. It helps to reduce wastage and avoids duplication of work. Planning reduces business related risk. Planning helps to forecast the business related risk and also helps to take necessary precautions to avoid these risks and prepare for future uncertainties also. Planning improves direction. Planning direction means to give proper information, accurate instructions and guidance to the subordinates. Planning tells us what to do, how to do and when to do. It helps the organizations to achieve the goals through systematic coordinations of the employees. Now, functions of planning. Planning encourages creativity and innovation. Planning helps the managers to express their creativity and innovations. It brings satisfactions to the managers and eventually success to the organization. Planning helps in motivation. A good plan provides various financial and non-financial incentives to both managers and employees. These incentives motivate them to work hard and achieve the objectives of the organization. Planning helps in decision making also. A manager makes many different plans. Then they evaluate every course of action and choose the best strategy for organization. So decision making is facilitated by planning. Planning helps to achieve objectives. Without planning, each and every activity will be based on trial and error, which will give rise to confusion. Every organization has certain targets. Planning helps an organizations to achieve their aims by avoiding overlapping, confusion and misunderstanding. Planning provides basis of control. Planning is the first function of management. The other functions like organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, etc. are organized for implementing plans. Controlling records the actual performance and compares it with standards set. In case the performance is less than the standards set, then deviations are ascertained and proper corrective measures are taken to improve the performance in future. Planning and controlling both are dependent on each other. Planning establishes standards for controlling, therefore, planning is necessary for effective and efficient functioning of every organizational irrespective of its size, type and objectives. Now, steps in planning process. Establishing variables goals. The first step in planning is to determine the enterprise objectives. These are more often set by upper level managers. The objectives may vary from a desired sales volume or growth rate to development of a new product. Establishing planning premises. Plans are made to operate in the future. The second step in planning is to establish planning premises, that is, assumptions on the basis of each of which plans will be ultimately formulated. Planning premises are vital to the success of planning as they supply important facts and informations related to future like population trends, economic conditions, production cost, government control, etc. Now, deciding the plan's period. The text task is to decide the period of the plan, whether it is a yearly plan or a plan which is spread over for longer span of time. Choice of planning period is decided based on time required in development of new product, time required to recover capital investment and length of commitments already made. Finding alternative course of action. The next is planning is to search for and examine alternative course of action for X products may be sold directly to the consumers by the company's salesmen or through exclusive agencies also. Now, functions of management, evaluations and selecting of course of actions. Having searched the alternative course, the next step is to evaluate and analyze them in the light of premises and goals and select the best alternatives also. This is done with the help of quantitative techniques and operations research also. Implementing the plan, the best possible course of action has now to be implemented, that is, putting the plan into action. For this, the managers have to develop derivative plans for each department. A draft version of the action plan should be communicated to inform those directly affected and gain their cooperation. Measuring and controlling the program. The process of controlling is a critical part of any plan. Managers need to check the progress of their plans, that is, follow up, so that they can take remedial actions if the plan is not working as per schedule, or change the original plan if it is unrealistic. Now, types of plans. Objectives. Objectives may be defined as the goals which an organization tries to achieve. Objectives are the aims towards which the activities of the enterprise are aimed. Objectives provide directions to various activities and serve as benchmark of measuring the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. Strategies. A strategy is a special kind of plan formulated to meet the challenges of policies of the competitors. Strategy can be shaped by the general forces operating in an industry and the economy. The strategy must be consistent with external environment. Policies may be described as plans which are meant to serve as broad guidelines to decision making in a firm. Policies exist at various levels of the enterprise. A policy should be definite, positive, and clear. A policy is a standing plan which assists decision making and should be referred as a general statement of the establishment rule. For example, a firm has a policy of promotion from within the organization. If a vacancy arises, the first preference is given to existing employees. Procedure. Procedure lays down the manner or method by which work is to be performed in a standard and uniform way. Procedure is a standing plan acting as a means of implementing a policy. For example, sales department lays down a policy to execute all orders within 48 hours. So, a procedure has to be followed in a chronological and systematic order to fulfill the orders. Programs are precise plans which need to be made to discharge a non-repetitive task. The essential ingredient of every program are time phasing and budgeting. Specific dates should be laid down for the completions of each successive stage of a program. For example, an enterprise has a program of opening 5 branches in different parts of a country. So they have to allocate funds and time period for securing the necessary accommodation, arrange the supply of goods that are to be sold through the branches. Often a single steps in a program is set up as a project, recruiting personnel to management business also. Rules are an explicit statements that tells the members of the organization what they can or cannot do. Rules do not allow any room for interpretations because it clearly specifies the action needed to be done in a particular situation. Rules enforce discipline. Use of mobile phones at workplace during office hours is restricted. Budgets are plans for future period of time containing statements of expected results. In numerical terms, budgets are very useful for an enterprise being expressed in numerical terms. They facilitate comparison of actual results with planned ones and serve as a control device. The important budgets are sales budget, production budget, cash budget, revenue, and expense budget. Organizing after planning the next function of management is organizing. Organizing involves divisions of work among people whose efforts must be coordinated to achieve specific objectives and to implement predetermined strategies also. It is the backbone of management. After the objectives of an enterprise and determined and the plan is prepared, the next step in the management process is to organize the activities of the enterprise. So, organizing is the process of defining and grouping the work to be performed, defining and delegating responsibility and authority, and establishing a relationship for the purpose of enabling people to work most effectively together in accomplishing objectives. So, organizing is the process of defining and growing the activities of the enterprise and establishing authority relationships among them. So, with reference to above definitions, it's clear that organizing refers to way in which the work of a group of people is arranged and is distributed among group members. So that's the end of my video, my friends. If you like my blogs, please subscribe my channel and also like, comment, share my channel. Thanks a lot for watching my video.